The way that white men talk about black fathers is 100% projection, and here's why. A lot of white men like to pretend they're so superior to other races and other men, when in reality, a lot of white dads are either drug addicts or alcoholics, physically present but emotionally absent, or such intense workaholics they don't even know their children's birthdays. So really what I see this as a fundamental problem with the way that men are socialized to treat women and children as extensions of themselves, not necessarily as important. And so while the stereotype is that black men will have children and not stick around, the white men who do stick around, because trust me, there are plenty of absentee white fathers, they aren't necessarily caring for their kids' emotional or physical needs. And a physically present dad but emotionally absent one is very, very traumatic for a lot of kids. I mean, just look at the children of a lot of rich parents. They're absolute tyrants, and they themselves are drug addicts because they know in their hearts that their parents do not give a shit about them, especially their dads. And so if you want to talk about daddy issues, then we need to talk about all races that are neglecting their kids, because it's absolutely not just the stereotype of black men, it's for white men too. It's insane how white men blame black and brown men for crime when they are overwhelmingly child predators. It's not even close. Depending on what the crime is that you're looking at, between 60 and 80% of the offenders are white men. Possession of child porn, 82% white men. Child predators who have a kid, 60% just that we know of. And that is with the justice system overwhelmingly and disproportionately arresting and targeting black and brown people for pretty much any offense that they can gather. That includes cops who are planting evidence of different crimes on black and brown people. And yet, in those departments, it's overwhelmingly white men. I think this is also because no one likes a child predator, so white men are even less likely to go out on a limb for other white men that they understand are being child predators, unless they're other cops. So in my mind, this is a more accurate representation of breakdown by race for crime. But I mean, seriously, 187,000 white men in this country currently are child predators. Just that we know of, just that have been arrested, and just that are being counted in the database. So yes, white men are often the most dangerous people in the US.
Nobody even wants to sleep with white men anymore, and y'all are up in my comment sections with this. Trying as hard, no pun intended, as hard as you can.
You look at the people that are protesting, it's a bunch of like racist, white, like just not very happy. It's hate.
Do you think there's some like normal average people in there as well that kind of get in the mix of the ones who
I think people, some people think they know what's right and they see it as it's like, I know a lot of people that think that like they think the country's going to be overrun. I do think the government have definitely, I do think they want it. I do. I think they definitely want. They're watching us all just literally go against each other because it's segregation. They want us to be segregated. They want us to hate each other. It's why there's always been scapegoats and they wanted us to hate other countries. It's because it's how you have power. You have fear. Fear is controlled and everything. I don't feel like our families and anyone I know has ever been like, oh yeah, I am actually personally like affected by immigration. Like I've never like felt like no one's ever come up to me like, oh, I can't get a job. Like it's just that ridiculous one.
The people that have attacked me the most in my life have been old white men.
Yeah,
old
literally.
white men.
I've felt more unsafe by white men down the street like than I have ever like really immigration.
Why don't you like white boys no more?
I never liked white boys. I guess it was just like in my soul when I was born.
So you came out the womb not liking white boys?
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Racism is rooted in sexual jealousy about specifically black men, but most other races, I've noticed that white men are jealous. And while this is more typically pronounced in regards to black men because of these stereotypes about black men's, there is a lot of envy from white men for men of color for very different reasons. Maybe it's the stereotypes of them being perceived as hardworking or dedicated, ambitious individuals, all of things that a lot of white men struggle with. It's just crazy how much racism is rooted in jealousy, specifically white men's inability to satisfy women, because that seems to be a problem that quite a lot of people have reported with white partners or husbands. Even with my content, I get a lot of white men in my DMs who want me to bully them or like sexually talk to them, down to them in a weird way, genuinely have inferiority complexes. I mean, these people are seriously psychologically upset and depressed over the way that they look. And so whatever amount of superiority they claim to feel on their white skin certainly doesn't extend to the bedroom. I will just say that.
Do you know why the white race is dying? Because white women don't like white dudes anymore. Don't get me wrong, it's not because they're particular because they're white. It isn't because the color of their skin. It is because of what the fuck they stand for the majority of the time. White women could have a preference for white men, but they also have a preference for like human decency, equal rights, anti-racism. White women are slowly waking up. And we don't want conservative fucking men. And unfortunately, most white men, especially in the South, are conservative. So, white men, if you guys are so adamant about the white race not dying, personally for me, I cannot wait until there's not one single fucking pure white person in the world so then when fucking racism can end. But if you want white women to like you, how about stop being a racist, bigoted fucking prick and voting for people that are? There's my hot take of the day. Okay, bye!
The amount of times I've been on dates with white men and they've asked me if I've dated black guys before is ridiculous. I was on a date with this white guy in Chicago last year and he goes, so who do you typically date? The guys that look like me? I knew exactly what he was getting at because most white guys will ask this question at some point because they're trying to figure out ultimately if you're quote tainted. I literally said to him, does it bother you that you think about black men so much more than they will ever think about you? And that ended the conversation, but obviously we didn't go on a second date and I do think he was pretty offended by that. But the amount of white guys, even who are quote liberal, who are genuinely threatened and intimidated by you going on a date with people of color is ridiculous. Because it's not just black men. If they find out that you've dated a South Asian man or you've been on dates with women, specifically women of color, they will react similarly. Although it is obviously the most pronounced and genuinely disgusted that they will look if you say that you have been on dates with black men. But this is just one example of white men trying to figure out the quote purity of the white women they're seeing. And it's a way of resource guarding their own women because they don't like white women seeing other races or other genders.
I like my men how I like my coffee. With a big ass dick.
You still don't think white men are obsessed with black men? I have a story for you. One of my friends was dating this guy back in California, and when they were hooking up, he literally told her to say Black Lives Matter. And she was like, what the fuck? Because this guy was like a leftist, or he was left-leaning. And she literally stopped it, pulled her out of the moment, and she was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, oh, like, I need you to say that, or I need you to say that, like, you've dated black men in the past, and like, I'm nothing compared to them. And these men have like humiliation kinks, and they enjoy being compared to black men because it's a sexual thing for them. And it just shows how much sexual fetishes are shaped by racism. Because white men, even though they're on the left, that are using this as a way to get off, it's very, very uncomfortable. And it shows how deeply this fetishization is rooted in white culture. There weren't even black people in the room. It was just two white people, and yet during sex, they're talking about a black man. And trust me, this is not even close to the worst thing that people are saying out there. All I'll say is do not go on Twitter and search up anything related to fetishization of black people. And it's not just conservative men doing this, it's a lot of men on the left as well. In the past, when I was dating a black man, I was offered $5,000 for a white man to sit in the corner and watch. And ever since then, I have been genuinely disgusted and repulsed by these people who have absolutely zero respect for anyone's boundaries. They literally see black men specifically as toys that they can use at their disposal. This is something that has not changed at all since the 1800s, nor has the fact that white men treat white women like their fucking servant, like their possessions. These are all attitudes that have been passed down from generation to generation of white men. But the way that he even approached us was really weird, and he was trying to be subtle. Like, what if we get a room and I'll pay for it and you won't even know I'm there? And so if you're thinking about doing this, do not do this. Do not approach random couples. There are people you can pay who will do this service, but you guys want to go up to random couples and violate their autonomy and see what you can buy them for, which is what's really fucking uncomfortable, especially when you take into consideration the race factor. You are offering to buy these men. Go away and leave people alone. I've dated all races, and this has only happened when I've been out with a black man.
Do you like white boys? Do you like white?
Do I like white men? No.
Why?
Because they're not normal.
But do you think hating on your own race is a way of self-hatred?
No, no.
Oh, okay. So what's your type?
Fucking big black cock.
Hey, okay.
I think she wants a big one still.
Black ruined that. Say nothing.
So I got a question for the white men and the white men only. Why do y'all get so dramatically offended when a white woman is dating a black man? Why? Like, can I know? I don't get it. Is it for like the views and the likes? Is it just because you're bored and you want something to talk about? Like, you didn't want me. The hell? I look a whole damn mess and my black king love me. I woke up like this. But I don't get it. I don't get it. Let me know. Let me know, white man. Lay you bye. Mwah.
Yes, white women can be incredibly creepy towards black men, and instances of sex tourism prove it. If you don't know, some of the highest rates of sex tourism are among white women traveling to Africa in order to engage in sexual activity with black men. Kenya, Gambia, and Egypt are some of the most common, and when these women travel there, they often severely underpay them. Not to mention that a lot of people who are forced into this industry do so because of severe economic hardship, which is why that sex tourism is so common in developing countries. White men typically choose countries in Asia or like the Philippines, Thailand, places like that. So while the physical characteristics and the race of the people that white people are sleeping with, that they are traveling to engage in prostitution vary greatly, the point is that white women specifically will seek out black men, and that happens in the United States as well. There are a lot of instances of white women walking up to black men in clubs and offering them money, or white couples where the husband walks up to the black man and offers him money to sleep with his wife. And if you have a story like this, I would really encourage you to drop it in the comments. You could do it anonymously or include your name, because I don't think people realize how common this is. But yeah, again, the fetishization of people of color, specifically black people, is disgusting, and y'all really need to stop. Still don't think white men are obsessed with black men. I have a story for you. One of my friends was dating this guy back in California, and when they were hooking up, he literally told her to say Black Lives Matter. And she was like, what the fuck? Because this guy was like a leftist, or he was left-leaning. And she literally stopped it, pulled her out of the moment, and she was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, oh, like, I need you to say that, or I need you to say that, like, you've dated black men in the past, and like, I'm nothing compared to them. And these men have like humiliation kinks, and they enjoy being compared to black men because it's a sexual thing for them. And it just shows how much sexual fetishes are shaped by racism. As white men, even though they're on the left, that are using this as a way to get off, it's very, very uncomfortable. And it shows how deeply this fetishization is rooted in white culture. There weren't even black people in the room. It was just two white people, and yet during sex, they're talking about a black man. And trust me, this is not even close to the worst thing that people are saying out there. All I'll say is, do not go on Twitter and search up anything related to fetishization of black people. And it's not just conservative men doing this, it's a lot of men on the left as well.
On everything, I am so grateful that I am incapable of thinking and feeling like an oppressor. That has to be one of the most weirdest experiences in the world, to hate something, but at the same time you lust over it so bad that you fetish being dominated by the thing that you hate. I don't even know what I just said. I don't know if it makes sense, but I think this is how white men think. This is how I feel that your brain is wired. I don't get it. And no wonder these white women are exposing you. I think like all white men, for the most part, have some type of kinky diary they keep and write notes on the things they fetish over and fantasize. I think, yeah, y'all got like a kinky diary or something. This is weird. Yeah. All you Chud the Builders and Jeffrey Epsteins, we own it, y'all.